Alright, I know I haven't uploaded in a little while, but it is what it is. Okay, 50 likes, and I'll upload three videos this week, guaranteed. Because I got a few ideas brewing, and I think I can get around to making that many videos this week. And I think they all are pretty relatively interesting topics to make videos on, and would help quite a few people out. So anyway, in today's video, we're going to have conquest because I hear and I see a lot of people, saying, "Oh, how do I beat the stage in conquest? I'm stuck. What am I doing wrong?" Because I know a few of you are still stuck on 2-8. Like that's just if you're a veteran player, that's pretty embarrassing. I can't lie. Now, I'm not saying conquest is easy by any means. Yes, it is a piss take, and honestly, 10-8 I still think is ridiculously hard. Because I'm on the most recent conquest stages, and I still think 10-8 was probably the hardest one for me. But everything past that, it's hard, but it's still doable. So first of all, it's all about taking in the right tunes. Now, I see some people, show what they're using to take in for battles, and that's great and all, but there's some tunes you should always have. You should always have a Guardian 2. Now, you're probably wondering, why do I need a Guardian 2? Well, it's very, very simple. It can be a Sadiq, it can be Cowl, he's coming out soon, or it can be Mirror Boobs. Now, the thing is, Guardian 2 is going to save your butt. Now, the thing is, these Conquest 3 tunes, they're going to one-shot. They've got insane stats. They can pretty much one-shot any of your tunes. Hence why you need Guardian 2. Guardian 2 will literally take a hit for you. It's fairly simple. I shouldn't have to explain it, but yeah, you always want a Guardian 2. No matter what team you're bringing in, you will want that to soak up the damage and make it so your team can stay alive to do what they need to do. Now, with that being said, you also need a damage dealer. Now, obviously, they got insane HP, they got insane defense, but there is definitely little tricks here and there that you can use to, sneak your way past a team. So, for example, let's say you don't want to go through the infection method. It's a pretty easy-ish way of getting through stages, but let's say you don't want to go that route. If you have, for example, a princess, it doesn't have to be a grade 5, it doesn't have to be limit break, it just has to be a princess. Let's say you got a grade 4, nothing special about it. Let's say she rushes on turn 3. She's doing very little damage to them. But here's the thing, you can just, all you gotta do is just keep her alive. You've got to keep her alive. She can't die and then revive. She's got to stay alive because what she has is on a roll. Now, on a roll, if fully upgraded, it gives 30% attack every single turn, and it keeps going up for every turn. So it goes 30, 60, 90, 120. So in other words, she's boosting herself just by staying alive. And if you get it to a point where you're happy to let it all rip with all your other ARs, she will kill. Now, even if she doesn't kill, she has bleed on her mythic abilities, so that can help. Obviously, they run bleed resist, but that's not the problem. So she'll get them down to a very, very low point, if not killing them. After her honor roll has been going for quite a while, she can just, let it rip. And then whatever you need to do to finish up, you'll have your other tunes to do that. Control them, whatever. It's another way of doing it. Now, obviously, you can also go with an Andrea, a Sandy. Obviously, Andrea is extremely key in the later stages when you have a full damage team you're facing. Her follow-up with Rampage just helps so much. And obviously, the Sandy with splash damage, it can be good as well. So just knowing what damage dealer to bring in can be very useful. Now, I also always run a Wayland. Now, you're probably wondering, why am I running a Wayland? It's not because of the disarm. It's really not. It's because Wayland's mythic abilities make it so he's more likely to activate weapon effects. Meaning, if he's holding a healing stun is more likely to activate. Meaning, as long as the enemy is stunned, they can't damage you. Meaning, that's one less person hitting you on that turn. Meaning, your chance of survival goes up. And also, you can stun lock them. Now, granted, it is hard to keep Wayland alive, but he can be a very, very good asset to your team. Now, also, another thing to consider when who to bring in is if you want a bit of control for those heavy boss stages, where they're just nuking your team turn 1, may I recommend a Yumiko. A Yumiko is so good. That confounding, and also if you upgrade her basic weapon, she has a chance of impairing the enemy as well. So, a fantastic weapon, a fantastic tune, especially if it's a heavy damage tune, confuse them, and they're not going to hit you. Hell, they even attack their own teammates, doing a lot of damage. Now, we'll go on about modding. So obviously, for example, in my team here, I use Alice because Alice can revive. I can't really win some of these battles without having a revive, and Alice is a pretty good revive. But there is another way of doing it. I also would recommend having reflect mods on your team. Now you're probably wondering, why do I want a reflect mod? Because they are doing insane numbers of damage to you just from basic hits. So if they kill you, or even if they don't, that reflect damage is going to hit back a lot. And it could potentially kill them on the heavier damage stages. So that's another thing to consider. I would run reflect mods. It does help. Now, talking about things that help, territories. I'll put pictures on the screen of territories that help, but territories actually do help in Conquest. It's not much, but it is a little bit, and a little bit does go a long way. So you can have HP, you can have defense, you can have crit, you can even have attack. So these are great ones to have. You should have all of these at the same time to increase your chances of beating these Conquest stages. So that's being said, okay, so you gotta know what teams to take in for certain boss stages. Now, every boss stage can be different, there's gonna be different types, but here's the two main types. There's gonna be a tanky build, and there's gonna be an offensive build. Now, the offensive build is a little easier, in my opinion. Now, granted, it can be annoying, you gotta know who to target and how to, cheese your way through it, but here's the thing. First of all, look at the team. If they have a Lori on it, you need to target the Lori. Now, you're probably like, why do I need to target the Lori? The reason you need to either control or kill the Lori turn 1 is because she can use an active skill turn 1. And if she uses that active skill turn 1, you can just say goodbye to your tunes. It's pretty much gone. Same with Rampage Priya's. No, not Priya, sorry. Rampage Princesses or Andreas. You just got to keep your eye out for them as well. But an easy way I find to get rid of those teams is target the weakest tune on that team. Whether it's a red like Lori, because obviously you're going to be using follow-up Andrea for this. Or whether it's like a Tyrese, a Rick, whatever it might be. Just a nice, easy tune to take out. Now, obviously, this does take a few attempts. You need Rampage to really activate to kill. But the main thing is you just hit on the weakest tune and then you hope for Andrea's follow-up to activate. And obviously, because she's going to be holding a Rampage weapon, the damage gets spread. And obviously, you can kill majority of the team turn 1. Fairly simple. Now, I think I am finding a damage team here. So I'm just testing out who the weakest is. And then obviously I run 2 Rampages on this team just because double attack, Rampage, makes sense. But the end result which I'm desiring is literally just get the follow-up to activate and then breeze through the team because that Rampage does a lot of damage with no defensive lead. Now, obviously, I've got to say this. The stats are still enhanced, but that's not a problem. Rampage is still OP. Now, if we go to the more defensive builds like 10A, I still think 10A is ridiculously hard. And yeah, it's still ridiculous. But for stages like that, it's fairly simple. You got to go for Infection. Now, I'll show you the Infection team I use on screen now. So what I use is Negan lead. So on the second turn, Negan can actually active skill and infect someone. And also I use an Alpha. My Alpha is not max, it's just grade 4. And she'll infect someone turn 1. Now, I hope to keep her alive for more than one turn, hence I give her a defensive weapon. I also use a Yumiko, because Yumiko has the Impair weapon, and also she can confound confusing people, giving more control. Now, obviously, I use a Wayland as well, because obviously the stun, and I can keep a lot of people controlled like that. Also, he does give AP to other people, meaning I can just keep a nice constant flow of infection and damage and control. Now, obviously, my last one will always be a Mirabelle, because Mirabelle, obviously, Guardian 2, you need a Guardian 2. Now, if you don't have a Mirabelle, that's fine. Cal will be available soon. He can stun. But worst case scenario, you use a Sadiq just to keep people alive a little bit longer. But obviously, Mirabelle is the best option because she can actually confuse people with her active skill. And also, her mythic abilities are just way better. So, what you would do is you would actually target... let's say any defensive team, you would first of all target Dr. Stevens. Now you're probably like, why would I target Dr. Stevens? He's a pain in the ass. He has fast healing on his weapon. It's a pain in the bum. So what you'd do is you'd actually active skill first with Alpha and get a crosshairs. Now you would just target anyone else after that, but you're just basically hoping to keep Dr. Stevens crosshaired and the infection will slowly kill him. That's what the ideal is. If it doesn't happen, just keep trying. Eventually, it will happen. And then, obviously, for your Negan, you hit on the Dr. Stevens as well, just so the infection doesn't, if it, I don't know if it can, but if it would go on to, the same person. So always hit on to Dr. Stevens after that, and then you'll have 2 people infected, and now the rest of the raid is just literally just controlling the toons and making sure you have full control over, the enemy team. So you can just keep infecting them, and slowly you'll infect them out. Because on Alpha's Rush, she does give heal reduction, which does help tremendously, considering they won't have enough heals to get rid of the infection. And obviously, you can just keep people alive, and then eventually over time, your team will slowly build up damage to kill them. Also, Negan has Maim ability, so if you could level that up, that would be brilliant, because then their HP is just slowly going down after that. And also, one thing I've got to reiterate, you just got to keep trying. You can't get frustrated after like 10 or 20 attempts and say, oh, fuck it, I give up with Conquest, it's too fucking hard, nerf it. You can't. Because I guarantee you, I got so fucking angry with 10.8 because it was just incredibly hard in my opinion. But I kept going. I probably did like 50 to 100 attempts on that. And eventually I just got enough. It just went my way. Granted, I wasn't using the best team for it. I was using a pure damage team, which probably wasn't the best idea at the time, but I was using that. And I slowly made my way through it. And yeah, so you just got to keep trying. There's no point, like just saying fuck it. It's too hard. You just got to keep trying, keep experimenting with teams, keep fucking around with the weapons. And overall, if you can't beat it and you get frustrated, leave it, come back in an hour or two, try again. It can't beat it again, come back in another hour or two. You'll slowly see progress. It may not be big progress, but you will see progress. So with all this I've said in the video, there's many things to take away from it. First of all, always have a Guardian Shield. Always grab the territories for enhanced boosts. Always have the right weapons. Like team players everywhere. Rampages are good. Stuns are fucking insane for Wayland. And also, reflect mods help, because obviously when they hit into them, the damage they would take back is just insane. So having a reflect on them is pretty good. And also, check what... Obviously, swap your team accordingly to what bosses you're on. So if it's a tanky you want, an infection is probably the way to go. But if it's a pure damage one, you would probably want to go with a follow-up Andrea, because that is a lot easier. Although it might be, you might have to try a few times and experiment. It is the easier option. And yeah, just keep on trying. So I hope this video has been informative to some people. As you can see, this is my... I don't know what you could call it. It's my normal team. So if I got mini human stages, I'll use this team, and if I got walkers, I'll use this team as well. And if it is a damage boss stage, I will use a variation of this team. And then obviously, if it's a tanky one, I'll use the infection team. So I hope this video has been useful. Leave a like, comment, Discord link in the description. Ask me anything. Loads of people in Discord are willing to help people out. If you're stuck on a certain stage, you need advice, whatever it might be, the Discord is there. And yeah, peace out.